Hey, this is Tosh Durant from Sublime UX. Happy Friday. We're getting ready to do some framer work and tutorials. It's going to be the first one of many, and this one is specifically dealing with why we chose Framer as our go to development tool. It's a beautiful spring day, so I'm out here sitting on my porch, kind of enjoying the weather. Might as well, before it gets too hot to be out here. So we're going to be looking at why we chose Framer, what you're comfortable with. So the first main reason, like I said before, is really the popularity of React itself. Simple fact is, React seems to have won the front end framework wars, at least for now. This may change, but for right now, React is extremely popular. And it was important for me that I could obviously do the work as necessary. And as I had other people do work, whether it be freelance or employees, the chance that these people know React coming in is a lot higher than it would be for something else. So if you look at here from this 2022 survey, as far as tools React developers like using, React is right at the top with 22%. If you look at just the past year and the packages, you'll see in the past year that React again is at the top. You had a nice spike here with Vue in December 2022, but for the most part, it's down here and React is up here. Even Angular, who was the big boy for quite a while, is much lower uh, than React is. If we look at from basically 2012 at the real start of the framework wars till today, I mean, look at where React is. I mean, this is much higher than any other thing. Again, for a while, for 8 years or so, um, Angular was at the top. Vue still has a pretty good run and has a loyal following, but compared to React, it's not even close to being a competition. And while again, something just it being popular is not enough, if I have to go and get other people to do some side work for me, or again, um, some freelance work, they're probably going to know React, and this just makes life easier for me. So that was number one. Framer is the tool, but at the back end of it, it's still just React and React components. So as you can see here, this is just a regular Framer site, and I decided that I was going to add additional functionality to go do an API call to the Star Wars framework. And as you can see here, just made a simple API call, and I can filter out the results as necessary. And again, it's just calling an API. There we go. It's just calling an API. And again, so I'm not restricted to what Framer quote unquote front end allows, or the no coding solution, because again, while no coding solutions are great and you can do a lot of things with it, if you need extra stuff, you can code it. And then if Framer later on adds additional functionality that you used to have to code for, great. But in the meantime, I can do whatever I want, and by adding some extra functionality like this simple call. And I did include a gist in here, which you can go to and see how this was done in a Framer component. And again, it wasn't that difficult. If you already can code, if you know some basics, it's here for you. So here is a regular fetch example. And again, this you can just add this to your Framer page, in your components, and then bring it into one of your Framer pages. And it's just a simple how we normally do stuff in React. It's just a form, and then we're going to make a call. We're going to use a regular fetch call to get the data. It's nothing beyond what a normal developer would do every day. And again, that's the beauty of it. It's literally just React. And then I can jump into my page and I can put it in as necessary. So here is a regular page. um, this one here, and as you can see, I literally just put it in. Let's open the layers so you can see. There's, oh, that's my Rick and Morty one. Here's this one. There we go. So this is my fetch example of the code I just showed you, and literally I just put it in the page as normal. So here's all the normal Framer stuff you would do, and then I just say, hey, and in the meantime, put in this component, and here it is. Super duper simple. And it doesn't have to be just regular calls. We can also do things like add additional functionality. So as I mentioned before, here's the Rick and Morty one that I did. And then this Rick and Morty example, you don't have to do just a normal API call. You can do additional functionality as far as being able to add Framer motion to it. So here is the Rick and Morty one call. And then I could, in this Rick and Morty one, I could go here, type in Beth. Search, and it will go back out to the API and make a call and had a nice little animation to render. And again, this is more complex, but it's still just React. And again, I added a gist here for you to look at. And again, anybody who knows React probably already knows how to do this information, or excuse me, knows how to write something like this already. It's just a fetch, and then we're animating the presence using React Framer. That's how we get the animation. We just outline how we want it to animate. And again, anybody who, I shouldn't say anybody, most people who know how to code and code React already knows how to do this already. And again, it keeps it super simple. It allows me to then go out and go ahead and do that type of data. And this last example here is, say you did not want to use the CMS for some reason. You want to use a third-party app like Airtable. Here I have a call to an Airtable backend, and we can use it to call these cards or call this data, and then I generate these cards on the front end. Now, these cards are made in Framer just like we normally would, but we can have the additional functionality. So say here, oh, okay, well, I just want to use the websites. I want to sort them. And now it does a nice sort for us. But these cards are made in Framer. So I didn't use code to make these cards. I just used normal Framer and how you would develop these cards. Let's see, I think these are the assorted cards here. And here we go. So these are the normal cards that you would have in any other, when you're making any other Framer component. And you could design this all in a front-end way, in a visual way, as you would. And then I just made the variants just like you would in normal Framer. And then I just said, hey, go ahead and call these cards into this component. So as you can see, I used variant 1 here to call, and that's what I did. Super duper simple. So I can still have the power of designing something visually and then use code to extend it on the back end. Again, super simple. And then the last part of this is, again, still the why is, if you notice here, if you're used to using Figma, and let's look at Figma right quick. You're probably already used to this type of setup, right? So you have your normal stuff, you have your layers on one side, and you click on these and you can expand out your layers to see what different things do over here. And you have your auto layouts, and then you have your specifics of the heights, the colors, all the stuff. If you use Figma, you do this all the time anyways. Part of the appeal of Framer is it's the same type of deal. Here's my layers. Right? Still auto, and if you notice, again, it looks extremely similar to what we just showed in Framer. Let me put this side by side for a second so you can kind of look. If you look at the similar type of deal here, right? Here's your, I mean, even the symbols are similar. Here's how we do an auto layout stack. Here's how we do an auto layout stack here. It's pretty simple. We have our colors and our design stuff over here as far as the size goes. Oops. Here we have the same thing with Framer, right? We have the styles, we have the sizes, we have positioning. The sizes we want, we could say if it's going to be fixed or if it's going to be relative. We could even use grid. So if you want to use FRs, you can in here. Colors. And then you have your extra things as far as if you want to do code overrides, which again, I will not get into in this particular one. But as you can see, I mean, it's these two interfaces between Framer and Figma are extremely similar. So if you're used to using Figma, you could pick up at least the basics of Framer in 10, 15 minutes, no problem, because they work extremely similar. And what's even nicer is Framer has a basic one-click import. So if you have your setups, done well, and you use your auto layouts and all those kind of things, there is a one-click import to import into make a new Framer page based on a Figma, the Figma layout that you made. So you can go right from Figma to Framer in literally seconds. It's a great tool as far as being able to use between the two. So again, here's the thing about everybody. If you know Figma, you know Framer. You could pick it up so quickly. And here I have the side by side as you did with the other one. You can just pick it up quickly. And so for me, it's going to make life a lot easier between the extended functionality of React and the functionality of Figma and Framer and how similar they are. That's why we chose Framer. It's just a great tool. It's super simple. So again, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Leave things in the comments. I'm curious what other people are using. I know there's a lot of way more popular bits of software out there to do this. But I'm curious to, have you tried Framer? What do you think about Framer? Have you used it? And what did you think? Are you coming from a design background primarily, or are you coming from a development background? And so therefore you're maybe looking for Framer as an alternative or that in-between space. Let me know in the comments, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. All right, take care. Bye.